We all right. Hey!
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm super excited. We get to talk every week for those of you who are just joining us or getting ready to join us. I am Jamie Weiland. I'm the front desk here at Integrative Health and Wellness, and I have the pleasure of representing this doctor, Dr. Sarah Vivona. And so I'm super excited. So for those of you who don't know, every week we meet here. Yep.
It happens.
It's the sucky part about going live is that there's no
Live.
it's live, right? There's no blooper control.
Makes me nervous.
She gets more nervous than I do. Huh?
Yeah,
I would think
do.
so.
I want to present the information easily, correctly, fun.
But you're better if you had a script.
Yes.
She's so good at
I
scripts.
can memorize anything.
And I'm the complete opposite. It's so funny how different we are. So it's good. It's such a good match. So we know a lot of you guys can't join us right now because, it's 5:30. So some of you are cooking dinner, some of you are on your way home. That's okay. You can always watch the replay. And you can still always reach out to us if you have any questions about anything that we're talking about, or if you have any topics that you'd like us to discuss. We would love to hear from you.
We would.
And we always like hearts and likes. So,
Who doesn't?
right? If there's something that we're talking about that resonates with you, please let us know. Give us a shout out, say hello. And we're not going to be one of those annoying people that does a go live and stops the whole go live to say hi to you while you're on. It drives me
Hi,
crazy when people
Becky.
do that.
Just kidding.
Just start making up a bunch of names in the middle because we're so popular that everybody's watching.
So famous.
We could actually just do 20 minutes of highs.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi, John. Hi, Russ. Hi, JR.
It's good to hear from you.
All right. So tonight's topic is on headaches.
Headaches. Yes.
This is super exciting because there's so many people suffering with headaches, right?
Yeah, I think it's almost normal now to get headaches at least once in your life, but usually, at least for women, it's hormonal or it's I think you would be the weird one not to get headaches.
I actually feel like that because this, is definitely not a problem that I suffer with. And whenever I'm in a crowd of anybody, I do feel like I'm the oddball to say I don't.
You know what that feels like?
I've had headaches. I have had migraines, but I could count on one hand how many migraines I've had. And, headaches, I'm always like, ooh, something must be really wrong if I have a headache because it just doesn't happen often. Yep. Now that you're the surprise.
I'm the opposite.
You're the opposite.
If I get sick, it's a headache.
And so I know when you were younger, you used to suffer with headaches as well, right?
Yeah, it started off mild hormonal headaches, I suppose. And then it got to actual migraines where I'd vomit or, be curled up on the ground. And it progressed to the point where I'd get that every day if I didn't take ibuprofen, basically. And I just had a whole host of other problems too that kind of snuck up on me or actually probably kind of grew on one another, like the domino effect. You get one thing and then other things break down in your body and you get other problems. So that's kind of where I was at the end of my high school time.
So I have to tell you, she is one of the worst people to talk about herself.
I am.
She really is. She could talk about, I bet you could say, you'd have more to say about me.
Yeah, I could.
She'd be more comfortable telling you guys stuff about me than herself. So,
I'm good in our class we do every Wednesday because I wrote it. It's a script. I can read it back to you. This is my health history. This is what happened. But when we're picking out bits and pieces of talk about your headaches, I'm just I had them.
So really you had headaches. You didn't know what to do with them. At that time, you didn't know holistic medicine, right?
Not really. My mom was sort of into it, but it's not like she was really trained in anything. And so I suppose she probably tried to help, but at that point I was under the impression it's normal. doctors told me it was normal, it's hormones, you'll grow out of it type of thing. And so I didn't really pursue it. I would just take Advil and be on my way, not even necessarily tell my mom, because if you have pain, why don't you take painkillers type of thing? And then it goes away, so you don't have pain anymore. And it really wasn't until I had like nausea and back pain and broken bones in my shins, like problems that grew on one another, that then I actually was going to doctors and getting testing, and nothing was showing up as wrong, even though, I mean, I had broken bones and nausea and weight loss and all these other problems. That's when I kind of got more into like the natural side, or back into it, because that's kind of how I was raised.
So then how did you get rid of headaches?
Back to I don't know. It's hard because it's not like it was just one thing. I can't tell you like I stopped eating this and then they went away. I had true migraines, and we'll talk about them, and so they have triggers. So part of my healing was just figuring out what triggers they were and how do you either correct them or avoid the triggers. And over the course of probably 4 years, I learned what they were and how to manage them so that I didn't get what I call unexplained headaches. I totally get headaches today because I have triggers, and some of them aren't avoidable, but they're not bad. And it's really only once in a while that they get so bad that, I'm vomiting all over the place. Much, much better. And it feels good to know, like, you have control, basically. Like, okay, one of my triggers is she wants the sugar. So it's like, oh, if I'm going to have Christmas dinner and have all these cookies, then I know I potentially might have migraine in the next week or so.
Okay.
And just be like, you know what, you own it, and then suck it up and deal with it, I guess.
So, and she means that. Like, you really are a suck it up and deal with it kind of gal.
I try.
She is.
Yeah.
She is, like, hardcore. The other day you came in and weren't feeling well, and I had no idea because she's tough. She's a tough cookie here. So, I love that you guys have a lot of people that come in here that you have helped get through, overall wellness, with headaches being one of their symptoms. One of them is John, and he says, I had headaches every day with constant stiff neck and upper back. The front of my face was always in pain and my sinuses were always irritated. Now I have no headaches or stiffness at all. The pain in my face had gone away and I feel 150% better. I love that, just because, I get to be the front desk girl, but I get to help that happen. So it's such an honor to be a part of what you guys are doing, because I get to be a part of that healing process. So
yeah,
so cool. So what is a headache?
Simple terms, basically it's just swelling of the brain or tissues around the brain. Migraines deal more with like the blood flow to the brain. That's not what it should be, and it would cause a migraine. But basically, simple, it's just your brain swollen. Is a simple definition of what a headache is.
Okay. And so, obviously, we don't want any swelling in any of our body, right? Because that's what causes pain.
Yeah, anywhere.
I mean, are they, are all headaches the same? Like, there's all these different words for headache.
Yeah. And that is one of the key points I'd like to get across today, is that all headaches aren't the same. And even migraine doesn't just mean like a really bad headache at all. A lot of people now say they have migraine. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, because their pain is 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. They vomited, whatever it was. That doesn't necessarily mean you had a migraine. There are, I don't even know how many types of headaches there are, but there's a lot of types. I think we did a blog post on some of them. And there's like traditional migraine headaches, which typically are like the vascular kind, and that usually can also have like the lights bother you, noise bothers you. It has like other kind of neurological involvement too, is kind of like one of the main symptoms of that. You also have like toxic headaches are huge, and I find most people tend to have toxic headaches as opposed to migraines or anything else. And that's just what it sounds like. It's poison, basically, and you can get it from external air, food.
It's like when you're smelling someone's perfume
Yeah.
and you get this headache, right?
Yeah, poison. That's a poison, basically. And you can get it internally, too, because your body makes poisons every day just from functioning, and it naturally should be able to get it out, but sometimes it can't, and that can cause you basically poison from the inside. You can have infections, too. They release toxins, parasites, yeast, all of them, and so you can get headaches from those. Those guys tend to react. This is a weird fact, but they react to like the gravity of the moon.
Who does?
The parasites.
Parasites.
It's gross. So that's usually like if randomly certain times of the month things are worse for no reason. It's usually those guys. They're insects and they kind of respond to the pull of the moon, which is very weird. I'm not an insect, so I can't tell you why, but they've done research on it and it's been proven.
So you're saying like I had parasites at one point in time, and if if it was a full moon, I would have probably been more sick at that time because these parasites would have reacted.
You could, yeah.
To
I
that.
usually find it most patients, and you might notice with like phone calls, people needing to get in because they have headaches or migraines or whatever it is, or any other problem. It doesn't have to be headaches. I find a lot of times it does relate to the full moons, but it doesn't have to be the full moon.
It's so funny that you're saying this because, I mean, I've worked in a hospital. My husband works at a hospital. Anybody you know that works in a hospital or like an old folks home will tell you that when there's a full moon, there's some crazy stuff going on. But in that hospital setting, I mean, typically people aren't being tested for parasites.
Yeah, and if they do, it'd have to be like they have to sample their poop and look at it under a microscope, and
Like it's pretty invasive.
yeah, who wants to do that?
I don't. I'm not one of
You
them.
don't want to do that?
I don't. I really don't. And I don't actually have a problem with poop, but I don't want to have
I
any
don't
problems
blame you.
with
I
that.
don't want to touch someone else's fecal matter, even with gloves.
Okay. So, Anne just messaged us, and I said I wouldn't do this. I'm totally doing it. I said I wasn't going to stop anything to call anybody out, but this is worth repeating. It says, and she says, I visited your office for a headache a few weeks ago, and Dr. Sarah was amazing in helping me alleviate the pain in just a few minutes. I remember that because we shut the lights off and everything. She was in a lot of pain. I am forever grateful for that help, and thank you, Jamie, for making me keep my appointment that day.
Thank you, Anne.
And that's one of the coolest things I think about being here, and that's what Anne was saying that day, and I hadn't thought about it till she said it, and she had called in and wanted to reschedule her appointment because she wasn't feeling well, and I was like, wait, now's the time to come in.
Yeah.
And she had a later appointment that day, and she's like, really? But she just really did not want to get here. And I said, no, if you want to get fixed, you need to be here. And then we made her appointment earlier I'm like, get your butt in here so we can help you. It's so cool to just be a part of that. And she, it's so funny because now that I've been coming here for so long and I work here, so I'm so used to you guys, like catering to people that I, sometimes forget that other places don't do those things,
They don't.
So it's, yeah, they totally should. So thanks so much for that, Anne. Okay, so, sorry.
Type of headaches. Another big one is allergic headaches. Allergies. Just like allergies can cause, swollen eyes, swollen noses, throats, they can actually cause swollen brains.
Oh.
And so we usually find that the body is reacting abnormally to whatever allergen, and there's something going on in that body that caused that body to react versus someone else wouldn't react to that allergen.
Okay.
And once you figure that out and correct the immune system and its kind of hypersensitivity reaction, the allergen usually will go away, and then the allergic headache will also go away.
So it's not just about avoiding that allergen. Like
No.
you can actually support the body enough that the body takes care of it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay.
One other headache I'd like to point out is the tension headaches, because those are, a lot of people say they have a tension
I
headache.
hear this all the time.
And they're kind of like, oh, I have a tension headache.
Yes.
Forget about it. And I'm like, no, because that's not normal either. And actually, tension headache is just like a common name for it, and it's actually called the suboccipital neuralgia, is what it actually is.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, what does that mean? And so you have nerves that come out at tiny little holes at the base of your skull, and you can have the bones there or the muscles there pushing on the nerves that then cause the tension headache feeling. That if you have stressful time or anything, makes the muscles tighten up more, making the headache worse. And so the key is you actually have a big problem with the structure of your neck. There's something really going on there that needs to be corrected, mainly to relieve the headache, but also because your spinal cord starts here. And if you have a problem with your spinal cord, you're going to have problems with any other organ beneath it, muscle, joint, and it can then cause problems in the future. So don't just blame it on stress. There's actually a problem that your stress then showed you. Hey, I have something with the suboccipital nerves.
And okay, I want to reiterate, and I know I say this a lot, but I just didn't think like this before I came here, was when headaches happen, most of us think like you're saying, oh, this is just a common problem. It's not a big deal. I'm just going to take something to relieve that headache, to relieve the symptom is really what's happening.
Right.
But what you're saying is that by us taking whatever, okay, a pain reliever, it's really just masking that symptom, which is typically really what we're looking for, right?
Yeah, just the big thing with holistic care,
But what you're saying is there was a reason that happened. There was a reason that headache happened, and if you don't address and get to the root problem, it's going to do to other people what it did to you and just grow into different symptoms.
Yeah, and they weren't even related to headaches itself, That's painkillers. We never say don't ever do anything. And there's times you gotta be somewhere, you gotta pick up kids, whatever it is. Maybe you do it. Maybe you take painkillers to just get through the day. But my thing is, don't do what I did, because I didn't know any better, and then not use that headache as your indicator that something is wrong, and it's not a deficiency in your painkiller. Something is going on, and then whenever you can, preferably when you're having the headache, actually get seen and figure out what type of headache you have and why, so you actually know how to fix it.
So what are some things that we could do at home, some home remedies if we're having some form of headache?
So, first, stress. You have to know what type of headache you have. That's the first thing. And sometimes, if it's perfumes and it's probably toxic, and then your main problem would be in your liver, your kidneys, your guts. It all depends, because if it's a liver problem, then an at-home remedy would be then maybe drinking a green juice or something like that to help flush out the liver. Whereas if it's an allergic one, maybe it's something to help kind of calm the immune system down, or is it tension, or maybe, there's all these things. So there's no one point, if you have a headache, this is what you need to do. I'll give you broad things, but just know you need to figure out why you have your headache in the first place, or else we're not really doing anything. And so if you have a headache, ice can actually help if it's a bad one, if you put ice on it, especially if it's migraines, because it will kind of shrink the blood vessels. And sometimes that difference between having them gaping open and shrinking is enough to kind of shut off the migraine, or at least let you sleep. And then water. Water is probably number one thing people don't drink enough of, is water.
And that can cause a headache in and of itself, right?
Yeah, dehydration. If everyone just drank water, we'd have a lot less symptoms out there. And tea doesn't count, and coffee doesn't count, and soups don't count. You need water, real water. Drink water. And then the other one is weird per se, but actually works. It's coffee enema, and it's just what you probably are thinking an enema is, but there's actually a special type of coffee that has a special grind. It's not just Folgers that you're putting up the other end. It's a special coffee, and it's designed to work on your liver veins, your portal veins, to open them so that all the garbage that are in the veins get dumped into the liver, which get dumped into the guts, that then get carried out when you release the enema into the toilet. So we sell the coffee here. We don't sell the enema buckets, so you need to get your own. But that is something you can definitely do if you have a bad headache, especially if it's toxin related, even allergy related. Almost all headaches would probably respond to that. And so we have sheets on how to actually do it, how you boil the coffee, strain it, how long you're supposed to try to hold it for, and it definitely works. It's something I definitely had to do if that's too much information. But usually by minute 7, my headache is gone. So it definitely was a very quick fix for me. So coffee enemas.
Coffee enemas. Okay, so we don't have much more time left with you, because I don't want to keep you guys. I'm so excited you guys are joining us, though, that you were able to hop on. We have home tips, and then, so what is the best way, and this is how I'm going to end with you guys tonight, what is the best way for someone to find out what kind of headache they have?
So you would actually need to schedule an exam. And it's not just to get patients, but that's the honest answer. I couldn't tell you otherwise. And we have lots of videos on the actual techniques, and we have classes if you want to know more about like the actual techniques that we would use to figure out what type of headache you have. And definitely come to those or watch those, because that can do more justice than my couple-minute thing here. But through the exam, we're testing all your organs and nerves and structure, and you get like a picture. If someone comes to me with headaches and they show up as like spleen and thymus and tonsils and lungs, I'm looking more like allergic is the cause, whereas if it's more like guts show up and liver show up, and then you have a history of eating like crap or whatever, then it might be more digestive or toxic. Most times it's toxic.
And you're saying show up, so I'm pushing you a little bit further here, just because I know there's some of you guys watching that have never been here before, and you're like, show up? What do you mean show up? Show up on a blood test, show up on a hair analysis, show up where?
Well,
it's muscle testing, right?
Yeah, we do muscle testing, and there is a very quick one. I think it's right in our top of the banner on Facebook. You definitely can see it there. It goes into it more, so it's a really short video. So
I think it's our cover photo, actually.
Whatever, that thing that plays, definitely watch that, because that will go into it more. But we use like neurological muscle testing to basically test the nervous reflexes between organs and spines and muscles and skin. And we can use them and how they communicate and figure out areas that are strong or weak, and how to like what actually would fix the weak areas, whether it's supplements or nerve work or blood flow or lymph drainage or
just talking like a doctor, right? Okay, so basically, in a nutshell, and tell me if I'm wrong, right? So like the idea is like we have these organs, we all organ systems. They're all surrounded by nerves and muscles, right? Our organs are. Mm-hmm. So if like something was wrong with my gut, that would make a certain muscle weak.
Yes. So how we do it is we'll test the muscle. You can test any muscle you want. We'll usually use an arm because it's convenient. And that muscle should be strong. If it isn't, there's a problem, and you got to figure that out first. But it should be strong. And then if we are testing intestines, guts, and the intestines are sick, they're irritated, we are pushing on the intestines and pushing on the skin, which have the same nerves as the intestines. And that sends a signal that irritates the intestines even more. And since they're already sick, they can't handle any more irritation. Like we're poking a bruise. And so that irritation signal goes down to the spine and then spreads out throughout the whole body. And what your body does is it sends all the extra blood and nerve input to that sick gut that we're irritating, and it pulls it from your arms and your legs because you can live without arms or legs, but you can't live without guts very well. You need a bag. And so what happens is the body's paying more attention to the gut that we're irritating that's sick and not the little muscles in your arm. So it doesn't get told to be strong. So it tests as weak.
And when you say this, it is the funniest thing, because when you muscle test me, I mean, I could take you. Just saying. Look at her. She's so petite.
Amazing.
I think I could take her. I couldn't outrun her,
I'm pretty strong.
but I could take her. And when you find something that's wrong in one of my organs, it's like I cannot hold my hand up against you. Like, it is just the absolute craziest thing in how it works. And one of the cool things is, if you guys have not seen this and you're interested in learning more about it, but you just don't really know yet, it's super cool, because while I'm here with one of the doctors, the other doctor is out teaching a class right now in our foyer. It's just a free class.
Yep.
That really explains this entire process. And I love that you guys actually do a demonstration during this class from somebody that's out, that comes to the class.
We do 3 demos.
3 demonstrations.
On all 3 techniques.
And it is such a wowing experience, because to hear you say it is like, what? Like, that's weird. And there's no way Dr. Sarah is going to overpower my hand, my muscle, right? And you totally do. And it's so obvious when you do find something, even though I have no idea what's happening, it's very obvious that there was something different when you catch it. And so I just wanted to let you guys know it's the coolest process. And so you can always give us a call, and we'll get you scheduled. We'll save you a seat out front. Do whatever we can do for you guys. We love that you guys spend time with us here on this forum. Let us know if you guys have anything you want us to talk about. And we are so grateful for you also. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Bye.